Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Marla McGinnis. I'll be the moderator for today's announcement. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce our speakers. The Honourable Tim Houston, Premier of Nova Scotia. The Honourable Barbara Adams, Minister of Seniors and Long-Term Care. Tori Jackson, CCA and alumni of NSCC's Continuing Care Program. Henry Devlin, President and CEO of CBBC Career College. And Mary Lee, President and CEO of the Health Association of Nova Scotia. Just a reminder that masks must be worn at all times unless you're at the podium speaking. This includes for pictures as well. And without further ado, I will pass things over to the Premier.
Well, good morning, thank you. This is pretty exciting, actually. I've never had 3 rows of people at an event before, so welcome. Thank you. Look, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here today, joining Minister Adams to make an announcement about some of these solutions for the crisis we have really in continuing care. So I can promise you, I'm really that big on political promises, even though I'm a politician, but I can promise you this. There'll be many more announcements to follow this one, but we're getting started today. We ran in the election on a very ambitious, expensive platform, and we are more committed than ever. As I stand here today, we are more committed than ever to getting things done. And we know that Nova Scotians are worth the investment that has to be made across the healthcare system. So we will make it. And we will get things done. Today, there are more than 20,000 Nova Scotians over the age of 65 in our province, and they have every right to expect the support and care that they need and that they deserve as they age. Seniors and their families have a right to expect a continuing care system that is exceptional. When people need care, they deserve the best care. That's what people have a right to expect here in Nova Scotia. So today we're announcing a significant investment, millions of dollars in investments to move the needle and to make things better for seniors and for those working in the long-term care sector. There are no quick fixes, but these announcements today are short-term investments. They are a good start. They are a good start, but we know that there is more to do. And nobody knows there's more to do better than Minister Adams, who worked for years in the system herself. So it will take bold solutions, fixing the crisis we have across the healthcare system. It will take innovative ideas and looking at new ways of delivering care. And as I mentioned, it will take money. But we're there for all those things. We're there with you for all those things. We can do it together. We know that adding beds to the system is just one part of the solution. We can add all the beds we want, but it helps no one if we don't have qualified, dedicated staff to care for the residents. So that's the priority, is making sure we support those working in the sector and attract more people to the sector. Hiring more staff, showing that we value and care about the staff that we already have who are working in the system. These two mindsets will have direct positive impacts. They will create a healthier workplace. And they will most certainly improve the quality of life for residents. So that's why today we're announcing $57 million of investment over the next 2.5 years to expand and support the continuing care workforce and make rooms more readily available for those waiting for long-term care. We will not shy away from the issues facing us across the healthcare system. We will not. We started on day one with creating a standalone department responsible for seniors and long-term care. The sole responsibility of that department, the sole mandate of that department is to improve the lives and the quality of care for those accessing health and community care in Nova Scotia. The minister's mandate letter clearly outlines the steps that I expect her to take to make this happen. Things like recruitment and retention, things like renovating and building new long-term care beds, and increasing direct care hours. I have every confidence that the minister and her team will get the job done. You're not going to disappoint me, are you? No. We will get it done. Our seniors have waited for far too long, and that wait stops now. We're going to start moving the needle today. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for my first three-leveled audience. I really appreciate it. And to everyone that's here today, we're all on the same page. We know it'll take time. We know it'll take money, but I assure you, we are on the same page, and that is the page of supporting the seniors of this province and supporting those providing care for seniors in this province. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. I will now turn it over to Minister Adams. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. Today is a very exciting day. Today, we are paving the road to changes that are long overdue. Changes that will mean better support for continuing care staff, better opportunities for those looking to pursue careers in this field, and better care for our seniors. As the Premier said, the sector has been underfunded and underserved for far too long. We are seeing the impacts in staff burnout and loved ones waiting far too long to get into long-term care. This cannot continue. Today, as the Premier said, we are announcing $57 million in investments that will bring much needed support to the sector. These investments provide recognition to the compassionate and hard-working employees already working in the sector, including home care, long-term care, and adult protection. I know you. I've worked alongside you. Our seniors need you, their families need you, and we need you. The work is very challenging, there is no doubt about that, but it is also extremely rewarding. We hope that these initial investments will make your workplace better and to encourage more people to pursue a rewarding career in continuing care. They will also see more beds added to the system to support seniors in need and to move those who need the support most from the community and out of our acute hospital beds where they've been waiting for long-term care. Families and loved ones deserve this peace of mind. We are also expanding opportunities for people to have their prior skills and experiences recognized so that they can apply for the many positions available in continuing care. We know that there are many of you out there with valuable skills, experience, and who are looking to work, and we very much need you. So we're investing $630,000 to double the number of eligible participants in the PLAR Recognition of Prior Learning program from 300 to 600 people so that more aspiring CCAs can get credit for the significant care-related on-the-job training, formal education, and life experiences they already have. This brings a total investment for all 600 eligible participants to $1.2 million. We are also providing much needed tuition support for CCA students already enrolled in the program this year through a $3.1 million in tuition reimbursement for existing students. So they will end up with a free tuition, as well as $22 million in tuition relief to bring 2,000 CCA students into the system to have a fully funded tuition for the next 2 years. We will expand also opportunities for flexible studies and more hands-on work experience, which is a new way of learning so that students can apply their skills more quickly and directly contribute to the delivery of care. Continuing care assistants will be in the workforce starting in the new year through a new Work to Learn program in partnership with CBBC, and you'll hear more about that in a few minutes. We are also investing in incentives for those outside the province and outside of the country to relocate CCAs and bring their much-needed skills here. Helping with relocation costs will attract the workforce we need and make the transition easier and more welcoming for their families. In addition to attracting more workers, we need to support the hardworking, compassionate people who are already in place now, caring for our loved ones. I know that continuing care workers have hearts of gold. They deliver so much more than direct patient care. They are there 24 hours a day to address the physical, emotional, and social needs of our seniors. They are, for many residents and their families, a personal friend and a confidant. They care for others, and we need to care for them. So today we are also announcing an additional $3.1 million towards professional development opportunities for current staff, better new scheduling practices, and access to physiotherapy, occupational therapy, social work, and psychological services for employees who have been injured or ill. And we are providing more funding to our facilities so that they can offer casual and part-time employees full-time positions and/or hire more staff to provide direct patient care. It is time that our care be extended to both our residents and our staff. The reason for all we do and what attracts people to want to work in continuing care and what keeps those dedicated workers from leaving is their compassion for our seniors and their dedication to their profession and their coworkers. Seniors deserve access to appropriate care as they age, not in a hospital bed and not at home without the proper supports. Today, we are also announcing $13.8 million to license and convert approximately 100 beds to both residential care and Veterans Affairs Canada units, converting them into long-term care nursing home beds. This will give more seniors a home, proper care, and peace of mind for both them and their families. It will also free up much-needed hospital beds, allowing more Nova Scotians to access in-hospital life-saving acute care. We know that there are other things that staff want to see happen, including higher wages. These are negotiated through collective bargaining, and we encourage anyone who is not at the bargaining table to come so that that can happen. We also know that more staff are needed to deliver the care. And as we made a promise in the election, we are prepared to legislate the 4.1 hours of care per senior per day. But we also need to attract more continuing care workers and give them the training and support that they need. More staff means more time with each resident and better, more comprehensive care for our loved ones. It also means a healthier, safer, and happier workplace for our much-loved staff. Before I wrap up, I want to acknowledge the families and caregivers who are still struggling to look after their aging parents. The pressures of these past 20 months during the pandemic, in addition to continued family and work pressures, has made things even more difficult. The many efforts announced today were made with you in mind. The investments we announced today to strengthen the workforce and add more nursing home beds are early steps to building a better continuing care system for staff, seniors, and families across the province of Nova Scotia. And I would now like to introduce Tori Jackson, who's also from Eastern Passage. Tori is a CCA and alumni of Nova Scotia Community College Continuing Care Program and is now a human resources recruiter for the province. So with all that said, I would be delighted to introduce Tori. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. My name is Tori Jackson, and I am a proud alumna of NSCC's Continuing Care Program. I graduated in 2020 and now work as the Human Resource and Training Coordinator for Home Instead here in Halifax. I am fortunate and grateful that I still live in the community I grew up in, Eastern Passage, and work in my home province. I am now not just a continuing care assistant myself, but I also recruit and retain other CCAs, so I know just how important the investments announced today are to our industry, and especially to the clients we care for each and every day. I know undoubtedly that help towards tuition and the new Work and Learn program will be a huge relief for many people thinking about training to work in the continuing care sector. I know for me personally, the option to work while also continuing my education would have been a huge asset. Many of us worry about making ends meet while attending school. This line of work is well worth pursuing and is very rewarding. The simplest of things, like making someone a cup of tea, can hugely impact their day. I have always thought about being a continuing care assistant as bridging the gap between dependence and independence. We are there to make the lives of our clients as easy for them as possible while maintaining their dignity. I always say to think of how you would want your grandparents or parents to be treated, and then treat your clients the same way. By implementing the initiatives announced today, our provincial government is demonstrating just how important and needed CCAs are, not just in the healthcare industry, but in the individual lives of our relatives and your relatives, those we care for daily. Thank you for recognizing the important role CCA play in the lives of all of us, and thank you for having me today. I would now like to ask Henry Devlin from CBBC to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Tori. Good morning, everyone. My name is Henry Devlin. I'm the president and CEO of CBBC Career College. First thing, probably everyone's trying to figure out, what is a CBBC? Cape Breton Business College, which started in 1958, has had a proud history of training thousands of Nova Scotians for various careers over those 63 years. And in the last 25 years has focused quite heavily on CCA education and trying to make an impact for that health sector and the employment needs that they have. We are very excited to be part of this provincial launch. I think for every voting participant in a province, when you hear Premier announce that they're going to make changes, then you usually sit and you wait many, many months or years to see that change come to fruition. I commend the Premier on taking action as quickly as he has and making this a reality, because the need for frontline workers is critical, not just in Nova Scotia, but all of Canada. And until you start making action and taking action and doing something about it, nothing changes. CBBC, again, is excited to be part of this. We are but one school. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes an entire academic group to solve something as challenging as our frontline worker shortages. So CBBC looks forward to playing its role. We know that we will produce hundreds of graduates over the next several months, and that's going to help. The work that we've done with our care partners, our long-term care facilities, and our home support agencies over the last 25 years is what really got us in front of the Premier and the Ministry over the last few months. We've been working closely with them. The need for frontline workers has been growing, and we put our name forward saying we want to be part of this. So again, thank you, Premier, and thank you, Minister Adams, for allowing CBBC to participate. And we look forward to leaving the press conference and going back to what we do, which is train students. So we'll get back to work and then hopefully produce some graduates for you in the next few months. Now I'd like to turn things over to Mary Lee, the President and Chief Executive Officer of HANDS.
And I guess if I follow Henry's cue, HANDS is Health Association Nova Scotia, for those of you who don't know. So good morning, everyone. I am absolutely delighted to be here this morning with the Premier, Minister Adams, and our other invited guests as we learn about these very exciting and much-needed investments to attract and retain employees in the specialty field for a sustainable future. Our continuing care members are committed to ensuring that seniors receive safe, reliable, high-quality care in a place they call home. Having sufficient human resources and ensuring that staff have a quality of work life that is meaningful and rewarding is essential to achieving this goal. In addition to the commitment to much-needed beds into the system, we're very pleased to see sustained investments in gaining and maintaining talent in Nova Scotia. The size of the workforce must increase, and there must be concerted efforts directed at attracting new talent to this field. Efforts such as today's announcements and investments in tuition rebates and additional investments to support international recruitment efforts. We're also very pleased to see the strong focus and retention in today's announcement through new investments in professional development and wellness. Opportunities for continuous growth, development, and the ability to envision a career path are so very important to retaining our skilled workforce. We must promote employees' health and well-being and creating healthy workplaces where they feel valued, respected, and supported. Having a healthy, engaged workforce is directly related to the provision of safe, quality care. The people who work in continuing care are the unsung heroes that we don't hear nearly enough about. But that's time, and this time is changing. The people who work in this sector are enriching lives every day. In closing, today's announcements are exceptionally welcome news and represent another very positive step forward in promoting change in Nova Scotia's continuing care sector. We look forward to working with the sector and in partnership with government in supporting the implementation of these very many important initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you very much to each of our speakers. That concludes the live stream portion of today's event. We'll now take questions from media.